Hey everyone, hope everyone is doing well. This is the day 4 of the second week, so that means a lot of snatch work. And today was kind of an odd day. So I started out with some of this muscle snatch and snatch balance work. Starting out with the snatch, I did up to 160 pounds, and the big focus with that is obviously just maintaining stability in the shoulders. I was noticing that my weight was getting pitched forward a little bit, and so my heels were coming off the ground because my weight was shifted forward, particularly when I was at the bottom. Not so much on these warm-up sets that you're watching now, but more so when I get to the heavier sets. For my warm-ups, I went with 115, then 135, then I went up to 160. 160 is what I did last week. Because I had a failed rep, I kept the weight the same for this particular lift. For the other lifts, I added a little bit of weight. Sorry, moving a bowl around that I had some mac and cheese in, and to get my coffee cup. What you see here, it's moving pretty easily. The biggest issue I had on this day is that my legs were just sore from the previous workouts. So getting into that bottom position, actually the hardest part was kind of just anything I was doing with my legs. So I was trying to do my best to get them as warmed up as I possibly could. It's actually kind of one random strategy I kind of like to do is to put the wraps or whatever above the sweatpants. It's like another layer of not really compression, but of just warmth that you're able to have, so it gets things warmed up a little bit faster. This is the first set that I did with 160. It isn't the easiest set that I did, and by the end of this workout my shoulders were definitely fried. There was definitely a lot of really good shoulder work. So I think it did affect me on the max out day on the next day for my snatches, particularly, not really on my clean and jerks because I was able to hit a new PR, but any shoulder fatigue is obviously going to be an issue when you're doing these lifts, and that's kind of the goal of the day, is to build up a lot of that fatigue and then work 2 heavy singles the next day, and to be able to do a 1 rep max or do anywhere close to that is meaning that your shoulders are becoming more adept to the volume that they're doing and getting stronger because they're able to handle that. Shoulders definitely need to continue to get stronger in order to be able to handle the volume on this particular day and any day that I am lifting, and these lifts are really good for that. The overhead squats, those are very difficult to do because you have to do like the snatch, grip, push, press to get the weight up and to go down with them. So those were there's really all of them were really difficult. The rate of difficulty was much higher on this one, even though I was successful with the different reps that I did and I didn't go up from last week. It definitely was a bit of a difference that I experienced from that previous workout. Did the 3 sets of a 3+2 of the snatch balances and the overhead squat, and watching this in here, notice my heels kind of pop off. That's just the lack of keeping the bar over my midfoot or in a balanced position behind me, and here trying to do an overhead squat, and I had to get relatively hyped up for these lifts. This is something that I've been noticing as I'm continuing to add weight with each one of the different lifts that I do, is that I have to progressively get a little bit more hyped when I'm doing the different exercises, and that's not always the best thing, but I'm finding that's allowing me to get through these workouts and to do these technically heavy things and technically difficult things for me particularly, and obviously heavy and difficult skill-wise for me to do. It takes a lot of focus. I was kind of happy with the snatches that I did going up to these the exercises. I definitely think I could have done them a bit better. I don't think that I was waiting long enough, so it was making me jump forward a little bit. Thankfully, the weight's light enough to where it wasn't an issue with doing the weight, so I had that going for me. But as I go through these sets did seemingly take a while. When you do 5 reps, that usually does take a while, but doing multiple snatch balances and multiple overhead squats, it takes a while because I can't really go, unbroken. It's not really an exercise where you can do that, particularly as my shoulders get more fatigued. It becomes more and more difficult to do that thing. But with this exercise, I will be putting on 5 pounds from this workout and going up to 165 for the next workout with that, because I was able to do all the reps successfully, which is a really positive thing. And you see here, Beautiful pause. Still trying to do those pauses. I don't do them so much when I'm warming up, but once I get to my working sets, I try to pause at the bottom, whether it's truly 3 seconds or just a bro 3 seconds. I try to get down there and make it difficult. So this is 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000. So it's almost 3 seconds. So it's not bad. I expect it to be my rate of counting to be a little bit faster when I'm under stress like that. Hang snatches are where it got really weird. I had a bunch of randomly failed reps. So coming here, you notice I'm a little bit earlier, and that's why I'm a little bit forward when I catch it. And as I get more fatigued with this exercise, I have to catch it lower and lower, and that causes me to fail some reps because I'm a little bit early. And it's actually a really good exercise right now for me to do. Like there, I went early, and that's why I failed it, because I had to get under it. And for me, getting under it's going to be really good for working on the actual snatch. See, even there I failed, and that was like an easy power. So I ended up doing all the regular reps that I had scheduled. They were just broken down into less sets. They're really supposed to be 2 sets of 4, so I did a couple, I believe 3 sets if I remember correctly. And this one is where I did 3. And you see there it progressively got better because I had to do more technically sound lifts. That was actually my straps came undone with that one, so that one wasn't really a failed rep. I just had to reset for this last hang snatch. And then there, almost failed it. Had to fight it a little bit. The big thing with the hang snatches is it just forces you to have to wait when you're doing the lifts and to make them as perfect as you can. Like that one was alright. I was just a little bit early again, and when it's a little bit early and your shoulders are already fatigued, you don't really have much of a chance to do it correctly. So this is, I believe, my second to last set. I don't know. These are all broken down in different clips because of the failed reps. You see that one looked pretty good. I waited pretty well on that one. Basically, if you look at my feet, if I jump forward, it's not good. If I land in about the same spot, that's pretty good. Usually means that I'm extending correctly. Now, whether I'm extending well, that's to be seen with what my legs are doing and when my feet are coming off. But if I'm jumping forward, then I'm early. If I'm jumping back, it's not good as well. I don't really do that except for jerks. I'm sure there's a reason for that, but I don't really worry too much about that. This is the last exercise that I did. These are tall snatches, 100 pounds, so the most I've done with this. And I was extremely happy with these. I think I did have a failed rep at some point when I was doing these. I'll have to check my notes or watch it these because I believe it was one of my later sets. And the only reason I failed it is, again, just kind of early, but just put the bar in front of me, which obviously puts it in a bad position. But looking at these look pretty smooth, which I'm happy with. They feel very difficult to do, and they're very terrifying because the weight doesn't go that high. I believe this third set is where I had a failed rep. Thankfully, with something like this, I'm not worried about if I fail reps or anything like that because the weight's so light that a lot of the times I can fight it. Even if it gets into a bad position, it's not something that I can't get into a good position. But then, yep, it was really early, and then I have a rep here. This is one of the most terrifying reps, is when I did this when I got about halfway and I was looking it straight in the eyes, and did not work. So let's see this rep here. Now this might have been, maybe that was something I didn't record, but let's watch this rep here. Yeah, see how I didn't even get to my face? That was terrifying because I didn't get under it fast enough. So I probably did pull it high enough, but that was quite scary. So I believe that was the last rep that I tried to do. It was relatively scary, and maybe I try another one here. If I remember correctly, I do try one, and I got all the reps total, just like how I did for the hang snatches, but I wasn't able to do the 3 sets of 3 as I'm prescribed to do. I didn't cut it here, but I'm going to leave it here since I'm talking throughout this. This is the last rep that I did, and I was able to get it. It looked really good. I was happy with it, and it was a good rep to end on in the workout. With that being said, I'll talk to you all in the next video. Hope you're all having a great one. Peace.